everybody. Welcome back live at Drew's House Joppa Afternoon Drive. Hope you're enjoying these final days of summer. I was just talking with our guest, the great principal at Newburyport, Andy Wulf, in the house. How are you, Andy?
We're doing all right. Thanks for having me.
We're just talking about summer going by so quick. You kind of feel like it drags a little bit, but you guys are off to school now. You're back at school, off and running, and I don't know. You like the routine of the school year, right?
Oh, much better. Well, plus I was telling our grade 9 parents last week when we did their orientation meeting.
Sure.
It's just the energy that comes into the building at the start of the school year. Because the summer, it's a lot of prep work, planning.
Yeah.
But the building is dead.
Yes.
And so, I kind of thrive off of the energy the students bring into school every day and the teachers.
It seems like everybody says that. Every administrator I've ever had in here says the same thing. I guess that's what you're in it for, right? If you hate the energy the kids bring in, that's probably a problem.
Probably don't want to go into administration, school administration.
That's right. It makes a lot of sense. But yeah, now I was up at the lake for the final days of summer on Labor Day, and my mother's yelling at my little cousins, oh, the alarm tomorrow, you want to go for one final jump in the lake? And I'm like, Ma, stop it. I used to hate that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But it's good. So a lot of good energy in the hallways here to start the year. Everything's off to a good start?
Yeah, so far so good. Yeah, we did our morning assemblies for the juniors and seniors today.
Yep.
So to kind of set the year off on the right tone, and they're our leaders of the building.
Yep.
So those seem to go pretty well.
Awesome. You got the sports are up. It's crazy to me how quickly the sports go, right? The football games, first Fridays here, and that moves along. I'm already looking at the fields are packed every time I go by. It seems like games get off and running.
Yeah, first games have already happened.
It is like a tight schedule, isn't it? Like you pack a lot. I mean, you're packing 3 seasons into one school year, so everything does have to kind of be tight like that. But it does. It's like there's always wheels spinning. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was really that once we hit the third week of August. Yeah. I mean, the building does start to energize because you have all the sports teams coming back for their initial kind of practices and tryouts, and then the games start this past week. They've already started.
What's the Newburyport always had very big numbers of student athletes almost like, what was it? Was it 70% at one point of?
Oh, it's over 70% of our students. We have, I want to say it's over 500 kids that are part of a team.
Okay.
For the fall season. And
how many students are in the school?
We have 746.
Okay, yeah, so it's a huge number.
Yeah, it's a large number. And then when you tap into between the music program, performing arts, so almost every single student is a part of some type of organization.
That's great. What do you guys do offering for music stuff these days? I know because that's I remember years ago that was always the thing was the musicians in the world would go, they always take music out of the schools first.
Oh no, our program is actually really starting to grow.
Yeah, I've heard.
And so the music teachers now across the district they loop with the students, so they're not just kind of stuck in one building. So it's great. So now the students are building kind of relationships with the music staff all the way through their schooling, and so we're able to have a band. We have an orchestra that's getting larger now. We have a chorus. So I was talking to Risa, who's the chorus teacher, so she's even thinking about maybe trying to get an a cappella going, which would be really cool.
Yeah, separate from the chorus.
I know they're trying to start now doing the drum. I don't know. It's not called drum corps, but it's
drum line or
the drum line.
Yeah.
I think that's starting down at the middle school, and then hopefully we'll get up to the high school. In a couple
cool.
Of years.
Yes, you guys are growing in that regard. That's great. Awesome. It's important to have all those activities, isn't it? It's just that's probably what brings a lot of the energy in. It's,
totally.
All these other options.
Yeah,
too,
in high school, the academics are very important, obviously, but it's all of these other things that a student gets involved in. That's what we were talking about at the assemblies and our advisory block today. It's the whole idea is that you're kind of finding what you really enjoy and where your interests kind of lie, but it's about trying things, and really seeing what might stick as you kind of work to develop your post-secondary plan.
Not a huge sample size, but obviously you guys are putting in that big new cell phone ban this year. How's that been going here in the early days?
I mean, we're in day one, so obviously today went very well so far. I was actually, I made sure, we have administrative presence in the hallways, because I think that was the biggest concern, because last year with our cell phone policy, students were very good about the classrooms because they had to put them in the cubbies. And so just with that real comprehensive process we ran last year and kind of where we landed so that teachers really don't have to be the cell phone police, but also at the same time adhering to kind of some student voice and community voice. Students just have to shut off their phones, put them in their bags, and they're away.
Yeah.
Up until lunch. They're allowed to use them during lunchtime. But the hallways were great.
Okay.
This morning.
That's good.
Students so far. Now, granted, it's day one.
They'll push you a little bit,
I'm
right?
sure we will. I'm sure we'll have some students that'll be getting called down to the office. And, I feel like the intervention plan that team helped us put together, I think once, students are having that talk or they're having their phone taken away for the day or a couple of weeks, they'll learn.
Yeah, it seems like that's because big cities are doing this too. It's a lot of you guys are far from the only place in the country doing this. I think New York City just did like a blanket
blanket
deal
ban,
too.
or
I was trying to remember. I read it recently, but I was like, oh, that sounds similar to what Newburyport's doing. And New York City, that's on a very big scale. But it does seem like maybe that just is the way eventually all these schools go, right? I mean, because there's so much distractions on that phone.
Oh, totally.
During a school
and
day.
we've had phone restrictions for several years.
Yeah.
So, and each year we were getting better at tightening it up, and I think this time, where we're at kind of streamlines it, but also makes it more pervasive because now students they're not allowed to use them in the hallways.
Yeah.
They are allowed to access them during lunch, but we bought a ton of games. So and that was part of the conversation today. We don't, just because you're allowed to use your phone at lunch doesn't mean we should see a table of students staring down at their phone. We're going to intervene with you.
Yeah.
So we bought games for the CAF just to kind of help students interact with each other.
Like board games and stuff?
Yeah, board games.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay. Try to actually talk to people. I like it.
Exactly.
Well, it's funny because I think I had this conversation with your assistant principal, maybe, who's been on here. He was
Mike
great.
Testa.
Thank you, Mike. Yeah, he was great. But we were talking. I mean, even like in general, adults in life have the same problem, right?
Yes.
It's like you go to a concert. I go to a lot of concerts, and I catch myself sometimes like, who needs that? You got a video or two. That's good.
Oh, when you're trying to take that video, it takes like maybe 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah.
That you're missing everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And but like some people just all day, like it's like, what are you doing, filming the whole concert?
Correct.
And it's like that drives me crazy. That's an extreme example of concert, but just adults have the same issues of being on the phones all the time too. So it's very interesting. What's the biggest thing here as you hit the fall running? What's the anything coming up that you're very excited about as far as whether it be in the classroom, outside the classroom, any changes from last year?
I mean, the cell phone is really the biggest one, and we continue to push really. What we're really trying to be about is that inclusivity and the growth mindset. So getting students kind of in the space that, things are not always going to go perfectly, but it's how we respond to those setbacks. And that's what we continue to try to push. And then we had a great meeting with our student fan section leads yesterday, so I'm excited about our opening football game. It's just awesome that we usually get like 400, 500 of the students to come to the game, so it really is kind of this community building event. So there's the game going on, but it's just the students just have a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, it's those football games, right? The great first hangouts of the year.
Oh,
right?
Totally. And then that feeds in, right? We have our opening rally in a couple of weeks, and the students just go all in for that.
Oh, cool.
So it's just a lot of fun.
What about the freshmen or the new class here that are walking in? What's are you kind of extra cautious, extra conscious of them walking into the new building for their first time, being kind of the small fish in the big pond? Are you always trying to maybe be like, all right, everybody good? This is the way you should be going. You know where you're going, that sort of thing?
Mm-hmm. Oh, a lot of check-ins. And 3 years ago, we started a peer mentor program. So we have about 74 upperclassmen who were trained all summer long, and they're peer mentors for the freshmen. So they actually run lessons all year long. And so So for every 3 freshmen, there's a peer mentor assigned to them. So they have an upperclassman that they get to know and can look out for them. But then we also do a lot of kind of slowly integrating them in. Like last week, we did a big orientation meeting with their families. And then we do coffees throughout the summer as well, where the parents and the kids will come in and meet with the administrative team. They can walk around the building. And then yesterday was our launch with all freshmen came in yesterday.
Okay.
So we had our grade 9 orientation and we had a lot of new students coming in for upperclassmen.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, because we have a pretty big international exchange student programs.
Okay.
We have like 12 students from different countries that are here at the high school this year.
That is a lot. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
it's
think I
cool.
realized you had that. So
Yeah, it's really neat. So our students love it because they get to know students from other countries. Sometimes when they become real close friends, summer break, they're over in Brazil or France or
How
wherever.
cool is that? Huh?
Yeah, it's been pretty neat.
What's they have? I'm asking this and kind of, I hope I'm phrasing it right, but they have like all the rights of a normal student when they come in, right? If they're basketball players, if they're baseball players, jump right in. And
if they try out for the team. So actually, a lot of the international exchange students are playing a sport this fall.
Okay, cool. So they throw them right in. That's fantastic.
That's great. Yeah, they just become part of the culture.
Yeah.
So.
And is it usually 1 year for those students?
Yeah, they can only stay 1 year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that a school rule or is that a?
It's their visa. There's different types of student visas.
Okay.
I think at the college level, they can obviously stay longer.
Right.
But for public high schools, it's 1 year the length they can stay.
I don't remember ever getting the chance to go overseas or somewhere to go to school for a year. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
That's
it's
very
been cool. And the community's been awesome because they also have to have a host family.
Yeah, all
So
right.
we have 12 families that are hosting students from different countries.
Nice. And then before you know that, then, those people obviously that student becomes a part of a bigger group of friends. And
Yep,
now
exactly.
you're being opened up to a whole different culture sometimes and maybe language or foods or whatever. That's all very cool. I like that.
Yeah, no, it's been a neat addition to the school.
That's when did you start doing that?
We've been doing it now for 4 years, but now it's been slow to build, but now we have so each year we're getting around 10 to 12 kids.
We caught the end of COVID with that too. Right?
Correct,
I mean, that
yes.
doesn't make those sorts of things easier. But very cool. All right, Principal Andy Wulf in the house here, principal at Newburyport High School. They are off and running on the school year here, and all around it seems like I looked at I saw Boston went back to school, and all these communities are pretty much back. The ones that post Labor Day now, it's pretty much off and going. And I do notice this sense of like just complete. Maybe it's just early first month. I don't know. There is good energy all around though at the school year. I don't know if that's still a COVID repercussion where people remember what it was like not being able to go to school, but because these kids do remember it. They were younger, but they do remember having to do Zoom classes, and nobody ever wants to do that again. There is this kind of respect of this is a great thing that we get to do in our community.
Oh, definitely. It's funny. I think it was in the Daily News. Somebody wrote an editorial who I think was a former administrator, but one of the points he was trying to make is how in this profession, and especially for students, it's one of those places where you get to have a fresh start every year.
Yeah.
So,
that's true.
whatever you learn from the prior year's experience, you get a little bit of a break, but then you get to have this fresh start.
Blank slate, right?
Yeah, correct. Exactly.
Yeah. No, I used to love that feeling actually. This year I'm going to be more organized. I'm going to make sure my calendar is better, and take better notes. It's a good start. I didn't always execute it.
Well, you got to use Dwayne. So we played this video clip for the students from Dwayne Johnson. He does these brief little 1 minute. Oh yeah, he says some great stuff.
Yeah.
But he says your mindset can be one day, or it can be day one. So if you're thinking one day, you're always going to be putting stuff off. But if you switch that to just day one, you actually start getting stuff done. And during the summer where it's less of a kind of a routine, a regimen that you have. So I was kind of using that this summer.
Nice, yeah.
It actually made a huge difference.
I kind of like that. Yeah. That's what I might
One
use
day
that
or day
myself.
one. Yeah, he has some good stuff.
The parents, do you get enthusiasm from parents, or is it kind of sad? Do they feel like that summer ending, losing the kids here, or is it mostly joy to get the kids back in the classroom?
Oh, I think they're excited to have that.
They get their
especially
routines, too.
With the freshmen, the new parents coming into the school. We did our coffees during the summer, so I think there was. Obviously they're nervous.
Sure.
Sending their student off to high school, but there was definitely, you could feel some positive energy there.
That's good.
So
they get all wrapped up in it too. Those
totally.
outside events, whether it be games and stuff, they love going to see that stuff too. So that's good. I always do think of that. They should still play it because it's the one commercial I think of that state. Remember the Staples commercial?
Yeah,
the most
parents,
wonderful time of the year.
Yeah.
That's the. I hated that one too. That's reminds me of the
because of a
time.
reminder school was starting.
Yeah, which I never. It's funny because it's school was never. I always liked school. I just loved summer.
Yeah,
You know,
understood.
it wasn't like a subtract. It wasn't like it's nothing against the school. I like going back and seeing my friends and stuff. I just liked the warm weather and the lake and water skiing. And so that's kind of it. It's just a switching of the brain. It's day one of the brain.
That's right. Day one. I love it.
And get into the routine, but it is good. Like you guys probably emphasize. I can just tell just by using the Dwayne Johnson stuff. Like probably trying to get these kids into a great routine from the get go is probably a huge emphasis. For you guys.
Definitely. It's all about the mindset.
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of part of the responsibility, I think, of high school is, one of the things we said to them, our objective is that, when it's your senior year and you're walking across Stalen Field to get your diploma from the mayor, is that one thing that should be popping into your head is that I feel ready for this.
Yes.
Meaning that you have that mindset that regardless of whatever challenge is going to face you, you feel equipped that you can handle it.
Yeah. It's funny. I remember when I think back to a lot of my high school days, it was, I was a decent student, but like I could have been better. Mm-hmm. And you always hate that feeling when you look back. It's like, I should have put a little more into that or a little more into that. And the switch didn't switch for me until college, I remember. And like college, I just liked everything was just more, I needed like a little bit more of the harder structure. Like these are the tests. If you pass or fail, that's what it is. These are your numbers and that's it. And just for whatever reason, the college structure, it all clicked for me in college. And I was a much better college student than I was a high school student. And I looked back and I was like, yeah, I just like it seems like in college they had more syllabus and stuff and just, it was all laid out for it. I just like seeing that advancement. And I remember saying that to my parents, and my parents were like, in high school you could have laid it all out for yourself too.
Teachers do give a syllabus.
And it's funny when I was there.
They just chunk it more.
Yes, maybe it's more chunked. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. But I easily could have done what I did in college or what I got in college at the high school level. So, and then it kind of made me feel bad. I was like, yeah, I probably should have done better with that in high school, But
I bet in college you were probably taking things that maybe had more of an interest for you too.
Probably. So. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that's probably true too. But it's
that's what that's like a big shift that we've been doing over the past couple of years as well is, so we have this period that's called our onward block.
Yeah.
But it's really about giving students a space to really reflect on what their interests are based off of different experiences that they've had, jobs, all the likes, and ideally really trying to kind of map out this post-secondary plan for themselves going into their senior year. And it's also why we have our College Career Center now, which has that, we have 120 different businesses around the Newburyport area that support our internship program.
Oh, yeah.
So we really hope that every student before they graduate has experienced an internship.
Yeah.
Just so they kind of gain a direction, or maybe while they're in high school they really kind of start to figuring out their path.
I think some of them came through here at one point and did some stuff.
Yes,
here,
they have.
And I remember this was the thing. I just remember from other schools and stuff, like internships were kind of sometimes seen as like a free period. That's not what it was here. This was
it's
legit.
work.
Yeah, you got to legit
awesome.
do it, which is good. Yeah, that's cool, real life stuff to take advantage of if you can. That's the thing. I guess that's what I was going at too, where like you kind of look back and you say, I wish I didn't slack in that one, whatever. It's like you don't want to look back and have regrets too. It's like it's not the biggest regrets in the world, but they can be annoying. So like take advantage of the opportunities,
everything that you have available.
Yeah, it's easy to be too cool for school, as they say, and move on. But don't do that. You get the things done here when you can, and it flies by. Talk about summer going by. I'm thinking about those freshmen, right? Like I remember feeling senior year. I stepped on the tennis court. It was my last season of sports, and I remember this is my first practice. And then I was just every milestone during that final few months. I was like, oh, this is my first match. This is this is my last tournament. This could be my last.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, where did it all go?
It's funny. So the opening slide with the seniors today.
Yeah.
So I put up this number, 1360. I think it was 1367. But anyhow.
Yeah.
So that was the number of days they had left of high school when they came in on their first day as freshmen.
Oh wow.
And then I put up the number of days they have left now. It was like 267, and the look on their faces was just like, wow.
It's a very small number.
Yeah, that went quick.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's true. Like a friend of mine is back in. He's actually been doing some work in Pakistan for the government, and I just saw on his Facebook post he was the quarterback of our high school team.
Oh, okay.
And those guys had a big year back in 2004, which tells you where I was. I was in high school. In 2004, they had a big football upset win, and all those guys guys are getting together this week for dinner.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's like just the friendships that you build, you know,
That's cool.
whether it be a sports team or whatever, but that just happens to be the football team. But yeah, it is. It's like the memories that last a lifetime, but it goes by so fast.
That it does.
It does. But is it weird for you? I always like to ask the administration folks this, because you meeting all these new freshmen now, the juniors you had last year are suddenly your leaders. They're eventually going to have to say bye to in 267 days. Is it weird to be in your spot where like you make these relationships and you do get close with these people, and then you wave them off, and then it's a whole new batch?
Yeah, it is. It is a weird feel, because you do grow an attachment to the graduating class. You know,
I'm sure some come back, but definitely not all of them.
Yeah, no, they're pretty much. For the most, I mean, yeah, they do come back, because there's the different events like the Thanksgiving game.
Yeah.
That usually a ton of alumni.
It's
will
not like
come
they're
to.
in and out, though.
Correct,
I mean,
but it is very different.
Yeah.
So.
Is that you probably have do you struggle with? Are you great with faces, or do you sometimes be like, is that?
Usually, after they've been with us for 4 years,
Yeah.
usually I'm pretty good with the faces. You know, it's funny, when I used to work in Salem, Massachusetts. So, because we still live close to Salem, my wife and I. So when we go into Salem, I'll see former students of mine. So it's kind of cool. Sometimes I don't remember them though. But overall, though, I typically will remember.
I always tell this story, and it's one of those high school regret stories. It wasn't horrible, but our group there was a teacher who didn't quite have control of the classroom. Let's put it that way. Great guy. I've learned this more after I left, but he was just very, very nice and just let us get away with a lot of stuff. You know, everybody in the group was always loud, was always chatting. I don't think we had cell phones at that time, but there was definitely distractions, and like he kind of lost control of the classroom a little bit. And I remember thinking to myself, you know what, he got like angry that day, and like he should have when we were being loud, and like, why were we doing that to that guy? We probably like tortured him. We didn't even know we were doing it. And I remember I saw him later in life out to dinner and said hello, and he looked at me, and not that I was like one of his big problems or anything, but just I was part of the group that was not a great class for him, I think. And he learned later and got better. But I remember seeing him out to dinner, and he looked at me and he goes, I can't remember. And I was like, thank goodness the guy's not staying up at night thinking about how brutal this class was. And, but maybe we weren't as bad as I thought we were. But he was just one of those classes where I was like, I thought we probably took advantage of some teachers' early years learning, and that makes you feel bad too. So don't do that, kids. Because that's a hard job, being a young teacher. New
definitely.
School. I don't know how many of those you got going on right now, but
we have a few new teachers in the building. You know, every summer there's always, you know, we have retirement, so that's a big part of the summer is the hiring too. So yeah, but we have a couple of rookie faculty members this year, but I think they're going to be great.
Okay, cool. From other schools or first time teaching? First time teachers. Yeah, so that is the thing. And so we had that was a bad group. Our Spanish teacher still. I remember looking around the class and I was like, oh geez, it's all our friends in one class. There's a chance he's gonna, he's in trouble here. He gave us too much leeway, but be good to your teachers. I know you don't have problems like that in Newburyport, but
the students are very good.
They really are. Yeah. We get a lot of them in here, whether it be for sports or actually we had your theater kids in here over the summer. Oh, awesome! They were great, by the way. That's a good. Yeah, they are. They put on a little show for us in here. Actually, I forget what the play was. Something popular. They did, I guess, to end the year, maybe going into the summer last year. But you guys do a lot of theater plays too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, The Great Gatsby this fall. Nice. That's the one. Okay. And that's like the public comes in and all that stuff. Oh yeah, it's a great thing. They do like 5 shows, so they get a good crowd for each one. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, those 5 shows though take all sorts of work. I always think like that must be the most pressure because they work for months and months, and then you get like 2 weekends. You go one weekend to the next weekend, and that's about it. And then you flip it to the next one, right? Yeah, I think the one you're referring to, Into the Woods. Yes, they do a skit from. Thank you for the memory. God, see, you got the memory. Yeah. That was great. Yeah, they did a little show for our boss Sarah Hayden. Oh, that's cool. And, she was great. They sang for us and all that. But yeah, very well spoken and very dedicated. They were logging lots of hours for that, so I guess like anything, but definitely a commitment. What's the anything surprising you right off the bat here? Whether it be, I mean, I know you're not surprised by the energy, but is there something that you noticed when the kids were walking in today that you're like, this is a nice batch of kids for whatever reason? Yeah, everyone just seemed happy coming into the building, so it was, everyone for the most part, yeah. I mean, I think it is. It's that first day piece, Yeah. So it's the initial. It's new.
I'm sure as kind of we get into a couple of weeks, that energy will wane a little bit, but we'll do some things to hopefully try to kind of break up the monotony of the school day.
What is your vision on how the kids view you? Is it, do you think you have the reputation as like a strict principal, don't want to get in his office, not a good place to be? Or are you more like the, I can go talk to him sort of guy?
I try to really have my office is open.
Yep.
And so I feel like, for the most part, because we've changed a lot of things based off of kind of our student council.
Yep.
So we have a very strong and large student council that they have their meetings, and then I meet with the officers as much as possible where here's the concerns, but it's more about having that open communication.
Sure.
When there's things that they're looking for, it's like, that's not, but explaining why that can't be possible. But when we were trying to think differently about our advisory program that the students were having a hard time connecting with, all right, that was an important thing for us to dig into.
How many people are on the student council?
I believe it's like around 72 because each advisory room gets a representative.
Okay.
And then in addition to the reps, there's the executive board.
So you must really rely on them because that's, and your leaders in general in the school, which are usually the older kids, but it's those are really, if you're hearing those voices come back at you with the same complaints or the same...
Yeah, we got to do something.
You got to do something,
correct,
yeah. Okay, I got you. That makes 72. That feels like a big student council, but that makes sense of where they're coming from. All right. And you, how about what are you looking forward for this year? What's from personal perspective? You were in Salem as a principal, or
I taught for 13 years, and then I was a assistant principal for almost 12.
And now principal here. What's the what are you thinking as like principal Andy Wulf growth here in your own? Is there something you want in your own mind to get out of this year? Just from a personal, selfish perspective?
Yeah, well, we got some big things that are coming up. We have our accreditation. That's going to be taking place in a month. So our teachers, with obviously my support, we've been putting together kind of our own evaluation of our progress on our improvement plan.
Okay.
And so that's kind of really our first big hurdle.
Yep.
But, when I was hired back in 2019, one thing that really a big part of what the faculty was looking for was to have a vision that was driving us, and so now with our portrait of a graduate, and we did a lot of work over the past couple of years that really getting the teachers to really kind of drive us, where we have this vision of what we're striving towards, that students are able to, by the time they graduate, demonstrate these competencies that you would want to have of any person graduating from high school.
Okay.
And so that's now kind of being incorporated into our curriculum.
That portraits of the graduate thing, was that, because I've liked that idea, I've heard it's been explained to me a few times. Was that you, or was that from somewhere?
We had started it at the high school, but then as the district was really thinking through its strategic plan a few years ago, it was like, you know what? It shouldn't just be a high school thing. This really should be a school system thing.
Right.
So they embraced the entire community in trying to get feedback about what they would want for students graduating from Newburyport High School. And so that became a driver of our whole entire strategic plan for the school system. So I'm sure you've heard that from Sean Gallagher.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. He was probably the first one to tell me about it. But that's interesting. Yeah. So the whole school. I got to see him pretty soon too. It's been a while since I've seen Sean. You guys must have a very close working relationship, I'd imagine.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because we were actually together in Salem for a little bit.
Oh, were you?
Our paths had crossed.
I did not know that. Very cool.
So it's been good.
That's good. Yeah, I imagine. And you get all these teachers. Like when you talk about teachers driving this thing, you guys all kind of have to be on the same page and driving in the same direction too, right?
Correct.
I'm sure you've accomplished that already, and you feel that way. But it's
I think we're getting there. We have 100 people on staff, so obviously it's very easy to sometimes have some strays there. But I think probably to get back to your question about my big learn over the past few years, and really a big goal for me, is where I always felt like I had to be the one driving the ship. But I think what I've kind of learned about leadership, it's about here's where we want to get to, but then let me raise people up to really be the ones to get us there. And I feel like that's what's happening this year. Like this summer, we had about maybe 15, 17 teachers who were part of planning groups to kind of map out the professional development that we would be doing this year with the teachers to help us kind of take the steps closer to making sure our curriculum is completely aligned with the Portrait of a Graduate.
That delegating thing, it's a tricky thing, isn't
It's
it?
it is tricky.
Especially if you're not, like, because that's a hard thing for me to do. I was always told that too. You got to delegate more in many lines of work.
Oh yeah, and it's trying to become more comfortable with giving up control.
Yes.
And it's and it's also about realizing that the people that you have working for you, they're good.
Yes.
And so it's kind of the giving up the control is realizing I trust you to help us get there.
Yes.
So and that it was a little bit of a hurdle.
Yeah.
But
no,
it's at the same. I think it's gonna be very, very cool.
Very nice. All right, I like that. Final two to end with here. A couple quick ones. Best advice. I'm thinking of those new teachers you brought in, first-time teachers. What's the? You remember being a teacher? It wasn't that long ago. You probably kind of always feel like a teacher, even as a principal
definitely.
in some ways. What is the best advice for those new first-year teachers jumping in? What would you tell them?
I would say, first of all, have fun and get to know every single student in your roster across all 5 classes right from the get-go.
Very good.
Because building those connections is key.
All right, I like that one. And what would you tell those freshmen that are coming in first day in a new building? There's probably some intimidation there a little bit.
Oh, definitely.
I
Just
remember
kind of
that.
learning your way around the building.
Yeah. What's your best advice to the
get
incoming-
involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
That really is a good one. It's kind of simple, right? You get involved, you meet new people, you meet new friends, and then before you know it, it doesn't feel like a strange place to you anymore.
Correct, exactly. It's just a great, especially at the high school level, where if you're in a club, there's going to be upperclassmen. It's just it's a cool way to get to know people.
And it might be uncomfortable to make the jump, but just you got to get yourself to take that plunge, and then it's all easier from there, right?
Yep, correct.
I think
Yep.
very cool. I know you're a busy man, Principal Andy Wulf here, Newburyport School off and running, and I'm sure all these days are very busy for you here at the front end of the year. We appreciate you taking a few minutes.
Oh,
of our
anytime.
time.
Thanks for having
It's
me.
fun as always, and great to learn about you. I didn't know some of that Salem stuff, so that's fantastic. Good. We
cool.
learn something new about you every time you
I
come
love
on.
it.
Thank you to Maeve Power producing the show. We appreciate it. Maeve, as always, Sarah Hayden, the boss, our small but mighty team here in Newburyport. We love you. Have a great school year, kids. Live at Drew's house, Joppa Afternoon Drive. Peace.